What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology's Daily Devotional, man, and we are going to the book of Exodus. We're in chapter 2 today, 1 through 5. Chapter 2, 1 through 4. Sorry. Chapter 2, 1 through 4. I got to get better at this, man, remembering what verses that we are going through. But, yeah, it's 1 through 4. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead and stop the tape, check it out, see what it has to say. Come back, and we're going to answer some questions. If you've already read it, then let me just talk a little bit about being Trust in Jesus Ministries, because it is the new year, and so I do want to encourage you guys to begin to read and study the scriptures more so that we can understand and know who God is and trust Him more. So if I've talked a little bit about New Year's resolutions, man, and one of the things that we talked about is to resolve to devote yourself to the Lord in scripture reading and in prayer. So I hope that you're doing that. If you're here, you're doing one part, you're doing the scripture reading, and I hope that you would continue in prayer as well. Well, we're in Exodus chapter 2, 1 through 5. Let me go and check. I think it's 1 through 4. I already forgot. It's 1 through 4. That's what it is. And so, let's go ahead and jump into it, man. The first question is, what is happening in the scriptures? Well, we've got this edict and this decree from Pharaoh that he is stepping up the game, we could say, in how he is going to remedy the increase of the people of Israel. And now we are in the situation, we know kind of the circumstances behind what's happening, and now we're introduced to the man, Moses. We'll get to see later on in Deuteronomy that he's the most humble man, humblest man on earth. And this is his humble beginnings, is that he was born by a Levite family, mother and father, both Levites. And I'm sorry. And when he was born, he was beautiful. It says, I think the Hebrew actually says, like, he looked good. And so some say that what that translates to, it's not a euphemism, but it's like a colloquialism or a way of speaking in that language, in that way, in that time. It's kind of been like saying, like, man, that's fire, dog, when you're saying something's good. But they say that he was good, and so what that meant is that she wanted him. She desired to keep him. But it could also just mean that he was beautiful, that he was just a child that looked, something about him was different. Something about him was beyond what a normal baby would be. And so it stirred in the mother's heart to keep him. And so she hid him, and she hid him in an ark. So I think in maybe the NIV or the whatever scripture or whatever translation you're using, it's like a basket or something like that. But the word here is actually ark. And if you're reading in the Hebrew, a Israelite or a Hebrew person would see this and connect it to the story of Noah. Because what's amazing is that Moses is about to be preserved through an ark, as Noah was preserved through the ark. But then Noah being preserved through the ark is a blessing to the world as he increases, or God allows for him to be the new Adam. And so this is kind of what happens with Moses, is that not only is he preserved, his life is saved through the ark, but he also is instrumental in instilling the nation of Israel. And so it's the connection that you can kind of see as we read through. We see Adam, and then Noah, then Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and now Moses. Moses is the standout. He is the last of a piece. And I'd read something, I can't remember exactly what it talked about, but it was, I think it was talking about of the birth, how someone was begotten, and that this is the final time that it is used in the Torah, and so it is a marker also. So this teva and also this marker is what shows that there is a new season that is going to happen after this, in which the people of Israel will actually be formed. And so that's just a little insight. I may have gone a little too deep about that, but I hope that it helps you recognize the importance of Moses, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about man and God. But yeah, we see that, and he was beautiful. So she built this ark. Or actually, first she tried to keep him for a couple of months. She kept him for 3 months until maybe the time where he was crying more. Was a lot louder, was a lot bigger. It was harder for her to keep him, and so she built this ark to keep him in, and then hid it by the shore. And then it says that his sister stood by and watched to see what happened. So what does this say about God? I think first off, it says that God is all-knowing, and He is not. He does not go without planning. I remember the difference between Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Hey, I like both the series, but because Harry Potter was continually being written while the movies were being made, then some of the things that happened in the later movies were more difficult to understand because their plot points weren't put in the first movies. Now they were, if you read the books, I haven't read the books, but I did just get them to check them out and see what they are. But the points in the beginning of the book led to some conclusions or useful things to explain how Harry is in his specific instance, it was like a mirror, and that mirror was talked about in the original books, but not in the movie. So it was kind of hard to understand. And so the planning of the book or the planning of the movies wasn't as well done as the books. But Tolkien, since his books were complete, and when Peter Jackson had gotten those books, read them, had the scripts ready, and then started to do it, he could add little bitty markers in the beginning of the movies, which played out to have a big reveal in the later movies, because everything was written. And that's what it is here, I believe, with God, is that he knew Moses' life completely. And so, because he knew his life completely, he could plan for the things to prepare him to be the person that he wanted him to be. And what I'm talking about is that he was born of a Levite, and he was of a man and a woman. And then later on we see that he is the first priest of the people in the nation of Israel. Or, I mean, technically he's not a priest, but he is in the role, he is in an active role in which he could play that part, because he is the son of a Levite and of a Levite, male and female. And this Levite is the people, the tribe in which the priests come out of. And so this detail is important for his position and his role. And so who he is, God has made him who he is in order to fulfill the role that he is. And so God plans. He knows what he's doing in advance. He doesn't do anything without purpose. And so let's take comfort in that, my friends, is that God does not do anything without purpose. He is not arbitrary. He doesn't just randomly have things happen. He is a God of order and planning. What does this say about man? It says that God has us ready to do something. That since he has called us to action in whatever capacity that may be in your life, he has prepared you for that. He has got the resources for you to do it, not only physically, but he's preparing you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually for these things as well. And we've got to be reminded of that. We got to remember that God is not taking us to a place that he has not yet prepared for us to be. And so how do we apply these truths in our life? I think that we have to remember God being the orchestrator of all things. That's what sovereignty is, that he is the one above and ruling and making plans so that things can happen according to his will. And then as we are a part of these things, we are a part of his plans, we are a part of his will, then whatever he calls us to do, which sometimes can be scary, it can be tough, but we got to remember that he has prepared us or is preparing us for this call that he is calling us to. So let's take joy in that, man. And let's be active in it as we see and we know and we are shown more, revealed his plan. Man, let's do it, dude. Let's do it. So that's the application of today. Are you doing it? Are you doing what God has called you to? If not, find what it is that God has called you to. And then get ready for it to happen. And if you don't know what God has planned for you, man, I've got some small resolution videos, things that we should resolve to do in the new year. And these come straight from Scripture because these are the things that God has called us to do as people of God. And so there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. These are things that we must do. So if you're not sure what God is calling you specifically to do, check those videos out and then begin to try and live that out. And as you live those things out, then God will reveal more to you. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.